Say you down, you gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you gotta stand up. Oh, you fight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, you fight.
In person is so much more beautiful.
What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at the Bunch of Bull Studios. And today, I got a couple guests with me, the homies, co-hosting with me tonight. We're going to talk about the Waka Flocka show down Cal University. Shout out Cal University. Shout out Sean Ski, the homie, putting that together and making that happen and including us as a part of that. But why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Man, back again for the second time this weekend. Then tomorrow will be the third time this weekend. Sensei co-host the Stash Spot.
Yes, sir.
Tune in Friday
make
night,
sure y'all
6
watch
o'clock.
that stat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what he said.
Yo, you should already know it's the big bull in the house.
Yeah, Mr. Bunch of Bull himself.
What's going
Never
on
heard
with the
you
people?
introduce yourself like that.
I know I'm feeling a little extra.
Rambunctious.
See, look, even my phone knew what was up.
Yeah, exactly. That came through clear as hell.
You did.
But yeah, man, we had Waka Flocka came down to California University for their annual spring concert. And Sean Ski got booked on as one of the opening acts, and he was nice enough to have me be a part of that as well. I got to perform some songs, also DJ for him, as I sometimes tend to do. And it was a great time. The crowd was amazing, very interactive.
Yeah, I had a really good time.
Yeah,
it was definitely
I got a
fun.
couple pointers for Cal U, but it was a good time. First off, man, we should have been allowed to blow down in that locker room.
You think so?
We should have been allowed to blow down it, bro.
You can't smoke. You can't smoke in any building.
Listen, I
technically-
understand all of
facility
that.
to
I
smoke in any
understand all
building
of that.
in
I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, y'all wanted us to like come and do like this whole rap show thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like we're rappers and we smoke weed,
Yeah.
and
No, I
like
get it.
we're
I'm
gonna
not
be
a
here
rapper.
for a good couple hours.
I get it. I
But I'm not
think
a
they
rapper.
understand. Like I think they understand who they're getting to. Like if Wiz was there, they already know
Yeah,
like what's gonna happen. Like if Snoop's there, you already know what's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, I get it. You're not technically supposed to smoke in any building in America, per se. But no, I feel you, bro. Like I hate not being able to smoke when I want to. Like
and
that
then
shit
it's like
upsets me.
dry
In
campus,
2024,
so we couldn't drink.
yeah, we couldn't even drink. Take the edge off. Why you do the quotations? You don't like
Man.
you don't like that?
Niggas was in there drinking.
And then they's doing
yeah,
the
you know
whole.
They didn't think that.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
know,
was
you know
like,
that's gonna happen though.
And then he's doing the whole like if you go out, we're gonna give you a hassle getting back in.
Oh yeah, no reentry.
So it's like, it's a pain to even go want to smoke a cigarette. I gotta go like thankfully I was like kind of backstage with you and shit, so I was finding like back doors, holding my hand through the door, peeking out smoking a cigarette. I'm like, man, this is.
What was that experience? What
wave.
was that experience like for you? Like having all access to the.
It was
joint?
cool.
Yeah.
It was cool, especially on like somebody of a higher level like that. You know what I mean? Like I've had a lot of, backstage with people and shit. Even like whenever I was hanging out with Mac,
Yeah.
but even he wasn't on that level yet.
Yeah,
you know
what
what I
he
mean?
was,
And
yeah.
we weren't doing things with people of that level yet.
Right.
So every time we had backstage, it was still kind of just like most of the homies kicking it,
Yeah.
or the homies plus two people that we never met before, but they seem cool as fuck and they've already smoked us up. So
Yeah. Now
they're the homies.
Yeah, now they rolling. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Very surprised at how interactive he was with the crowd, in the sense of like he was just like,
oh yeah,
fuck
he was
it, we
super
going down there.
comfortable.
Yeah,
He was
we getting in
extremely
there.
comfortable.
You know what really surprised
up
me
on
and
me.
him? Shonsky had absolute crowd control.
Yeah.
Like it is insane how people might not know who he is at all. Like
Right.
I'm going to assume that most of them people had no idea who he was prior to that show.
Yeah. Outside the flyer, I'd imagine. So,
Yeah. And everybody's in there, phone with the light out.
Yeah.
Everybody's in there clapping.
Yeah. And that's the thing that comes
Everybody's
with
in there,
doing
hands up.
that's the thing that comes with experience too. Like, you know, I mean, we did a tour, an international tour at that, you know, U.S. and Canada dates. So he had a lot of time to perfect what he was doing. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And we were also fortunate enough to be a part of a tour with an artist like Chris Webby, who's very seasoned in the game. You know what I mean? He's done a lot of that stuff. So you pick up
You
some
were
stuff.
able to take notes.
Yeah,
and, like,
you
do your
pick up some
homework
stuff
on
from what he's
things.
doing. You know what I mean? You pick
Yeah.
up some stuff from what they're doing. And one of the things I learned about performing from him and guys like Echo and Annoyed is it's almost like theater. You know what I mean? It's almost like theater because a lot of their performance.
They have to have a stage presence as well.
Well, it mimics the night before. Like they have certain things that they say leading up to songs. It's a lot like theater. You got to remember kind of your parts and your lines. You know what I mean, if you will. And once you get that stuff down, you get a good feel for what the crowd likes.
It becomes muscle memory.
It becomes muscle memory, and now
And you can like pick and choose what you want to do depending on how the crowd's feeling to get them hyped up and
you
everything
can
like
you
that.
can kind of get a feel for how you
Yep.
want to approach the crowd.
Yep.
You know what type of crowd you're going to get. But you're right. Sean had amazing crowd control.
Because like I've watched umpteenth shows in my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've as we all have. You know what I mean? Everybody in this room.
Can I say something real quick on that? Can I interject on that? That's why I didn't mind being like a spectator, like on the spectating side. That is the first concert I've ever been to besides my own. On every
Really?
on God on like
That's
like
fire,
to
yeah.
and
Yeah,
not
that's
besides
dope.
like a local or like a we go to West V on like Pleasant Street or some shit like that, you know what I mean, or
Yeah.
like a show and like it's in a bar or some shit. I have never been to like an actual like we'll say celebrity status
Oh, that's fire, bro.
Yeah, that's dope.
performance. So
That's dope.
that's another reason on why I went. So I was like, hell yeah, Marley's opening. I was like, it'd be my first time going to the show. And then when I went and bought a ticket, I was like, and it was $25. The fuck?
Yeah.
Why don't people come do this shit more often?
Yeah.
But yeah, like we've all been to a lot of local shows and stuff like that. And how many local shows have you guys gone to or even performed at where you might have a crowd, but they're
too cool to move.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I ain't
All
gonna
of 'em.
lie.
Yep.
All of them.
I ain't gonna lie, I love all y'all to death. Every one of my friends that's a rapper or an artist or however you want to label yourself, I love you all to death. Everybody knows this. I don't know if we've had the conversation. I am not the one that you're gonna get to do the claps
Yeah.
or the
yep.
hands up. Like I
feel that.
and honestly, it is a self-conscious thing. That's the only thing that I'm
feel
like
that, bro,
super
yeah.
self-conscious about is
Sometimes I don't feel like doing it either. I just won't do it. Like I feel you. Like
Like,
some
yeah.
days I just don't feel like doing it. And it's not even a self-conscious thing. It's just because like I'm just not feeling it that day.
I just like
But
sometimes
I
feel
try
like
to
I
try
look
to
like a
interact as much as
dumbass.
possible. I only because I'm an artist and I get it. The one thing I try to do for other artists, especially underground artists,
That's a big ass fly.
that's a big ass fly in the lights. Yeah. The one thing I try to do at every show that I go to, and I find that it's reciprocated, I try to stay in front and center for the performers, for local shows, not so much for bigger acts, because they got enough people trying to stand up front. But I also feel like I can break the ice if I'm standing up front. Like people be like, oh, it's okay to scoot in, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things that's like a pet peeve for like artists. Is all these people are like scattered and like, come on, tighten it up. You know what I mean?
That's
And
why
if
I like-
stand up front.
I liked
That might
where-
motivate other people to come up front.
I would say I liked where me and bro stood because we were kind of like we were still in the crowd. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
looked over, we're not way off on our own, like kind of secluded.
Yeah, but I don't want to be all up in. the
Yeah, I'm not
mix.
trying. Yeah, that's there. I don't know nobody there, so I'm not trying to be like all
Yeah,
up on somebody's
I'm the
shoulders,
crackers,
all
not
up
the dip.
behind somebody.
Right.
Like we were right there, and then I try like I'm kind of with you. You know what I mean? I'll have slight interaction with you. If you tell me to throw a phone light up, I'll throw it up for
Yeah.
a couple seconds just to get the crowd going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like if you tell me to clap, I'll clap just like real loud.
See, I will
just to make sure
definitely
people
give
get
you
it
your
going.
applause and shit. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
letting
I'm
you know I
yeah,
fucked
For
with it.
sure.
I'm always gonna be the nigga in the crowd that shouts at
Yeah.
you, especially
Yep.
if I know you. But it's just cause it feels nice when it happens. You know what I mean? When you tell 20 people do some shit and they do it, and like it goes along with what you're trying to like do as a performer. You know what I mean?
The ambiance you're trying to
Yeah.
create. Yep.
So I try to relay that kindness, you know what I mean? Especially if like another performer that was on the set list is there and he's like, all right, I did it for you. And not even on like oh, you did it for me, so I'm gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a reciprocation of it's a good feeling.
It's
you know what I
respect.
mean? Yeah, it's respect. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with all what y'all were saying. And I understand where you're coming from, not being a, but I never expect any, like, I don't know. For me personally, like, I don't, I try not to take anything personally.
I only ever bring that up because I don't ever want somebody to think.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
that
Like,
you're
oh,
on some
just
hater,
there.
you're on some hater type shit.
yeah, he ain't even fucking with me like that.
Not
And it's
even.
like, bruh, I will sit there and listen to your album on repeat if it is good.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna sing your chorus in a room full of people.
Right.
It's not gonna happen. You might catch me singing it on my way to work.
right.
You know what I mean? If I see you at the stoplight, you'll hear me banging that bitch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think it's nothing wrong with that, bro. I think, like I said, I think different strokes for different folks. So if you ain't feeling it, you ain't feeling it, bro.
I'm one of the people. As long as you show up, that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can
yeah,
just
and
sit there
that's
and
my
stare
big
at
thing.
me.
I'm one of those friends that like I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And that
If
means
I'm
a lot.
able to get
that
there,
means a
I'm
lot to
gonna be there.
underground artists, man. When you're an up and coming artist, like it's hard to gauge success. Like it's hard to marker what success is because you're not obviously in a running for a Grammy or anything like that. So it's difficult to say like, damn, am I successful now? Am I being successful? So when people do things like that and they show support, when they share things, when they comment on things, when they like things, when they show up to a show, like the average person has no idea how much that means to an artist and how much that keeps them going. That's
Yeah.
fuel for them
Mm-hmm.
to keep going because your tank runs empty as an artist. Your tank runs empty if you don't get validation. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, damn, what am I really doing this for purpose? Like,
I'm
is it
feeling the same way with the studio and the
Right.
mostly the podcast network, but like, you know what I mean? Whenever we first started it, there was so many like stop roadblocks in the road where I'm just like, I don't even know if
this is worth
I
it?
should be doing this
Yeah.
anymore.
Like resilience is definitely a key when it comes to like
100%.
any type of media industry. That's
Mm-hmm.
when it, like whether it be music, podcasting, the YouTube, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and to keep it brutally real, I'd say maybe 2-3 times where the only reason why I kept pushing was because I don't have anywhere to put all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah.
I was to give up, bro, I ain't got no storage that's going to fit this whole building.
You got to liquidate.
Yeah.
That'd be sad.
And you know what I mean? And just in my head, I'm just thinking, like,
No, fuck that.
I guess I got to pay rent on my storage unit, my 3-level storage unit.
Right. I mean, it's also passion for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing about it, because I remember someone suggested that I did something. A friend suggested that I took some type of route with merch or whatever it may have been, and I was like, bro, at the end of the day, I have to be passionate about whatever I'm
Yeah,
doing.
you
I
can't
was
just
like,
do something to do it.
Well, not only that, like, as soon as the first bit of adversity comes up, I'm going to be done
Yeah.
because I'm not passionate about it. I'm not going to be able to just bounce back from it. I'm not going to have
The
that
slightest bit of confusion, the slightest bit
Yeah.
of like frustration, any of
Right.
that's just like, man, fuck that.
In your head, it becomes easier and less stressful
right,
to just stop
just to stop doing it.
than to have to deal with whatever problem is ahead.
Right.
Because I didn't want to fucking do this to begin with.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I was fulfilling someone else's prophecy or what they
Yep.
had perceived for me to do, and it wasn't really for me.
It's like when your friends drag you out at midnight and you were comfortable on the couch playing
Yeah.
games and planned
Yep.
on going to sleep,
Yep.
and then being out, you get a flat tire. It's like,
All right, I'm going.
yeah,
I'm going
like I
back
shouldn't
home.
even fucking been
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it just takes that slightest thing, and you might make up something that didn't even happen. Like, damn, I can't believe the wind blew like this, and I ain't gonna do this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have a passion behind it, I think, and that's the thing about being an artist or being an entrepreneur, even, or being someone who's doing something on an independent level when you're putting your own dollars and manpower and sweat equity into something.
You gotta find
you
a way
don't-
to self-motivate.
You got to have some
Yeah.
type of passion for it to find that motivation. Like, not even on no cliche or funny shit, but you know what I mean, I'm a big Eminem fan for those who don't know. But it's like that Till I Collapse intro. You got to look within you and find the motivation to not give up and not be a quitter. That's a direct Eminem quote. So you got to find that within you to not give up and not be a quitter. You know what I mean? And if you don't have the passion for it, it's easy to bow out of
Yep.
things as opposed to when you are passionate about it, you're going to find a way. You're going to find a way to make it work. You know what I mean? And I think that's for you with the podcast, like, that's a part of it too. Not even the storage. I mean, because that's probably an excuse you give yourself to keep you motivated. It's like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
passionate about this shit, and that's.
I
why
mean, it's obvious.
That's just like a bad day thought type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it's definitely an excuse, but, yeah. As far as like the making it work, it's like with A Night to Remember, that fucking show. We planned this whole show.
Mhm.
Everything's set up. The day before the show, maybe 2 days before the show, I wanted to go check the bar out for their sound system. Sound system that they don't have.
That's rough.
So my name's on it. You know what I mean? My name's on this show. There's Bunchable Studios. I'm not about to get a bad rep. We just start at that point. We're like kind of just starting this shit.
Right.
So I go drop $5,000 on the subs and the speakers and the mix. You know what I mean? I bought the whole setup. Like, all right, fuck it. Now we run the production setup.
Right.
Just to make sure that the show happened.
Man.
And I didn't even make money off of that show. So
Yeah.
it was like, even if I would have made money, you ain't even touching breaking even for what I had to go through.
Right, just in equipment, right? And yeah, that's the thing, man. Like it takes so much passion to be in the world of art, man.
You really gotta
the
be
world
in
of
it,
media.
man.
Yeah, you got to be in it. You can't half step it. You got to be in it.
Because you're definitely going to have wins, but there's always going to be like the win to loss ratio is always going to be negative unless you really, really get to a point of where it's like you're really doing something. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
But even those guys feel the same way. Bro.
Yeah.
Believe me.
because it's with different levels of status comes different problems. Like they got $1 million problems. We got at the worst case scenario $10,000-$15,000
Yeah,
problems.
but
You know
see,
what I'm-
I like a lot of times whenever I hear the whole more money, more problems thing.
It's not even more money, more problems. It's just in the aspect of like when you become the one thing I've always kind of like tried to remind myself is like if I were to do anything with my music or anything in any case, it's like being in politics. You have a responsibility of like how you carry yourself and how you go about it because there's always going to be a camera pointed at you in any given circumstance. You could be at a Whole Foods, you could be at the Balenciaga store, you could be at a
You're
fucking
in the public eye at all times.
yeah, you
man.
could be at a Volkswagen dealership. Like
Yeah.
a nigga's going to flash a camera in your face.
Yeah.
So it's up to you how you react to that or how you present yourself to the public.
But I mean, like, I could be the richest person in the world, and I'm not about to go get no $5 million mansion on mortgage, paying payments, and then I also need 15 cars, and I'm paying payments on those.
Fuck no.
Talking about living beyond your means.
Yeah.
You know, but even like these rappers, realistically, it's not living beyond their means because they're making the money. The problem is that money could stop at any moment.
Any moment.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's my concern is, whenever people say like the $1 million problems and stuff, it's like you put yourself in these $1 million problems.
Mhm.
You could easily still have a $250,000, $300,000 house and 2 nice cars.
And be comfortable.
Yeah. And be cool. Buy all the jewelry you want still,
Yep.
all
You
the
have to keep
clothes you
yourself
want.
grounded. You have to always have like a sense of realism. It's like just because you might make $20,000, $30,000 off a show, but $30,000 that's not forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
and
see,
that might
it's-
only happen twice.
Let me play devil's advocate in this situation, though, right? Say you are a big artist or a big star, and you got all this supposed money, and someone comes to your crib and you're in a $300,000 crib. It's a status thing too, right? All your homies got big mansions in the States.
Yeah,
and
but when
don't
you
have
see
that.
my Lamborghini Urus,
Yeah.
it's going
No,
to
I'm,
be, you
I'm
know
not.
what I mean?
No, I'm not disagreeing, but that's probably what it is. It's probably like a self-conscious thing. Like people feel obligated to have those type of things for status purpose.
Or like, I'd rather own, instead of getting like one super expensive house, I'd buy like 4 or 5
Multiples,
houses
yeah. Yep.
that are like $400,000.
Buy you a couple
range.
single family homes.
where you can get some bread off
Yeah,
of them. Yeah.
rent them out, and then whenever someone's like, "Oh, yeah, here's my multi-million-dollar mansion, and I got a $400,000 home," that's cool. But I'm also making like $30,000 a month just off the other ones that
But
I
the thing
own.
is to not even care about that stuff, bro. You can't even. I think that's where I was getting at with that. Like the thing is, you gotta remove yourself from that. Like I always think like monks have it down pat. Like
Yeah.
I wish I desired nothing. Like I love quotes and shit like that. So I wish I remember who this was. If y'all know who it is, definitely shout it out. But someone said like true freedom is not having a desire for anything. You know what I mean? And that's true.
Mm,
And furthermore, someone else said like despise the things. I think this was 48 Laws of Power. Despise the things that you can't obtain, and that way you don't care about them no more. Like despise them. Like if you can't get it, then just like I don't even want that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that way you're not doing all these foolish things to try to get these things. I think that's what a lot of it is, and that's where I'm trying to get at in life, and that's like one of my focuses for myself is to try to keep things in perspective. And you know what I mean? Like I don't need I don't need a Benz. Like
See, that's rough for me though.
yeah,
Only because me like wanting, obviously we all want better, but like me wanting better for my family and everything is my drive to like hustle as hard as I do and
Yeah.
not just work painting houses
Sure.
and then that's it. You know what I mean?
sure,
Like me trying to find 5 different revenues of income
yeah.
is like if I'm not striving for something.
But you're not doing
I
that.
would
You're
fall
not doing
off.
that for status though. You're not doing it so you can have the cool looking car. You're doing it
It's
for
for
your family.
comfortability.
You're doing it for your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am doing it for a nice car
Yeah.
and a nice house. But it's more so because I'll be able to leave it to them
Right.
if something happens or
Right.
whatever, and my daughter will have something. But yeah, I would get too comfortable if I didn't have like
That motivating factor.
unrealistic goals and for lack of a better term, because they're not unrealistic. Nothing's unrealistic
Yeah.
unless you say I want to fly to the moon right now with just my own power.
Yeah.
So, but setting a crazy goal is like that's what'll strive me to just keep going.
The
Yeah.
sky's the limit, essentially. It's like
Yeah.
if I can get to this point, I can get to this point.
Yeah, because
And
that's
if I
what
can
it
get to
used
that
to
point,
be.
I can get to this
It
one.
would be like, all right, I want to buy this pair of shoes. Well, I'm not buying it until I can buy them 2 times over, 3
Yep.
times over.
Exactly.
And then it would get to the point where you know what, like saving money. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna save up $2,000. Once I get to that $2,000 point, there's something I wanted to buy, but now I'm at $2,000.
If I spend it, I don't have nothing.
Why don't we save up till we get 5? Then I hit the 5 point, and it's like, well, why don't we save up till we have 10? So I'll just always keep up in my ante,
Right.
even if I hit it. So like,
Once you set the marker, you'll move the goalpost again.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I might not ever necessarily get the full feeling of satisfaction because I'm never completed,
Yeah.
but it keeps my hustle and my
It
drive
keeps your hunger.
constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just what you said, the full
And you would-
satisfaction.
You would get a sense of fulfillment off the work itself of like grinding
Mhm.
and like trying to get to that point, because it's like even then even if you put a date on it, it's like, all right, let's save up to this point by this point. If you don't get there where it's like, all right, say I didn't make 10 bands in 3 months like I wanted to, but I got the 8,000, I got the 6,000, you know what I mean? And then even then it's like
Let me see your flame when you get a chance.
it's like that's bread,
Then
you know what I mean?
you do? You put that in a shoebox and you start over and go, all right, this next 3 months I'm gonna hit 10,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
whenever you're like, damn, I didn't do that again, but I got 8 bands. It's like, oh yeah, well, go grab that shoebox that you forgot about for the last 3 months because now you got 16, my boy.
And then
That's some people's problems though. They don't have that self control. Like, and that's the other thing. Like, one of my personal life lessons is like discipline, man. If you have ultimate domain and control of yourself, you can rule the world essentially. And that's real talk. Like if you can have ultimate discipline over yourself, you can rule the world. The sky's your limit. Like literally, the world's your oyster.
That's my only 2 like things that I do not have the willpower to go against is weed. I don't think I could ever stop smoking weed,
Yeah,
but that's not that big of a deal.
yeah,
And it's so weird because I don't gamble constantly, but like $20 a day, $30 a day.
see,
I have to.
Is it the prospect of winning money that excites you about gambling, or is it just
It's the
thrill-
fact that
the
it's
thrill
happened.
of- yeah.
It's the fact that it started just, hey, let's see if we can make a quick couple bucks. Like, just like,
yeah,
fuck
some
it.
play around shit.
And then a couple times I'd hit big. You know what I mean? But it's wild how my aspect of big changed over my little short gambling career so far. Because it was like I'd hit for 200, and I'm like, oh hell yeah! I'm only betting 50 cents or $2 or whatever.
40 cent bet. 40 cent bet for a band is crazy.
But that's
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean. Is
nuts.
like then I would play for $1 or whatever. I hit for 500. I'm like, oh hell yeah, cool. And I would do that a couple times, and then it got to the point where like, oh, I'm hitting for 2 stacks. I'm playing $4 spins, and I'm hitting for 2 stacks, 3 stacks. And I mean, I showed them the other day. I'm still up. You know what I mean? If you look at my net career, I'm up 3 bands.
But you also set a budget for yourself of like $20. Like I heard that was an important thing about not getting into like a deep gambling
I
addiction.
don't like to keep money in my bank account.
Yeah.
Like, because I know my wife loves to buy things. I like to buy things.
Right.
And if it's not in the bank account,
You're less inclined to
without
do
a hassle, I can't get it.
Right.
So how bad do I really want it? Is it
Right.
bad enough for me to get out of bed right now and go down to the bank and put money in? Probably not.
My rules are the moment I get paid, pay every single bill I got. Well, not every single bill, but just like every single bill that would be due in the time frame prior to my next
it. Right.
paycheck.
Yeah. No, I
So,
feel
like,
that. I'm the same type dude.
I
yeah.
got like my car insurance and like these bills on
Yep.
this one, and then I got like my car payment on this one and this one and this.
Yeah,
that,
you're
and
like
the
2
third.
weeks ahead of,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
whatever you're supposed to be type shit.
But my one weakness, the one shit I will really spend damn near every dollar on, is like video game shit, bro.
I think we all need that release though. You have to have that one thing
It's
that you don't
bad,
mind.
Yeah.
bro. Because like it gets to a point where like there are some
Nobody's
games.
perfect.
No,
There
yeah.
are some games where I'm just genuinely gambling, bro. Where, like,
Well, hold on now. We definitely got to talk about that too while we're here, because I know we're both big on it. The Fallout series. I just got into it. I know you told me about
Let's
it.
talk
I
about
watched
it.
the first episode last night.
Did you
Let's
watch
talk
it?
about
The
it.
first episode.
Yeah.
Let's get into a first episode.
I think I'm on episode 5. I guess we gotta. I don't. So if you guys are intending on watching Fallout and you haven't seen it, we might just do some spoilers.
I won't
so
talk
spoiler-
about nothing, fam.
No spoiler alert.
I won't.
He said, I ain't talking about it.
I don't like to spoil things for people because I'm
Yeah,
one of them
same.
people where like.
Well, that's why I gave the preface. That's why I told
But,
people
like,
ahead of time in case.
I can if you have any questions.
Jalen,
Without-
what's good?
What's going
What up,
on?
though?
If you have
Who
any
all we got
questions
in
that
this? We
wouldn't
got 6
necessarily-
people in here
Yeah, come on,
across
say
all
what's up.
platforms
Ain't
we're
nobody
on
in here chatting.
right
What's
now
going
because
on?
we can see all the platforms at the same time. So everybody in this bitch, comment something. Who's all in here?
Yeah, subscribe too if you ain't already doing that. Comment, definitely like and share. If y'all could, if y'all would.
I be thinking there's a camera over there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
hit him with
No,
the
there's no
the
camera there, so,
pew
yeah,
pew
yeah.
pew.
Do all that stuff. But yeah, no. So Fallout, I'm a big Fallout fan I'm a big fan of the game Fallout 4. I haven't played the other one so much, and a new series just came out, and me and Caleb was talking about it a little bit. He was telling me like, "Yo, you gotta watch it." And I think for me, so I won't do any spoilers. So if you do intend on watching, I won't do any spoilers either. I'll just give like very general stuff, general statements about it.
episode because I watched the first episode.
Yeah, first episode's been out for a couple of days now, so I feel like at this point, like it's whatever for first
Yeah.
episode.
So if you haven't seen the first episode,
Yeah, if you haven't
then
seen first episode,
you might
uh,
want to tune out
you're
for a
beat.
little
yeah,
while.
we aren't even.
Yeah, see, Jalen said he been sub since day one.
Hell yeah.
Watch yourself.
So like, peep game, we are not sponsored,
right,
paid promotion,
Right.
None of that.
yeah.
As a genuine,
fans.
I wish we
as
were.
a
Someone
genuine
pay us,
fan
please.
of Bethesda, not even just Fallout, as a genuine fan of the
That's
gaming
fair, bro.
developing company
We need an Elder
Bethesda,
Scrolls game.
please go watch
Or
that
movie.
goddamn series because that shit is fire. There are so many references. There are so
Yeah.
many like Easter eggs. There
Yeah.
are so many things that you see and you're like, damn,
That's from the game.
it's a
Yeah.
memory. You start thinking of like, damn, I picked up one of them when I was
Yeah.
over here.
you start
like,
anticipate. You start answering the questions
Yup.
for them and stuff.
Yup.
Like they start talking about the different suits or the different equipment in the game. You're
Mhm.
like, I already know what this is about.
I know everything, bro.
Yeah, you
I
kind of
don't know about
you're like
y'all.
an insider.
It's like, yeah,
See, I'm
y'all are
backwards.
new.
I've never played any of the games.
You damn near get to feeling like a vault dweller yourself, bro.
Yeah. So for you, I think it'd be cooler to play the games after you watch the series.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Because you're gonna have a different understanding for the game now that you watch the series. Because even because I've started playing the game after I watched the series, and I had a kind of different perspective on the game after watching the series a little bit.
I just don't know like
I
which
definitely
games I
re-downloaded
should
it when I
play
got
and
to the
in what
crib, bro.
order.
I don't know. I've played Fallout 4 and I played what's the interactive, the online 76? Is that
Yep, 76.
I played that one. I played those two, and Fallout anything that I play like that just makes me want to play Fallout 4. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyone that I play is just like
Any open world post apocalyptic.
I just like why am I
game,
playing
it's
this?
just
Is
like,
that
I
what
like
you
Fallout.
I should just be playing
suggest Fallout 4?
Yeah, because I was telling him on the way back from the show, I was saying essentially if you want to get into the Fallout series, I would start with 4 first, just because it
It's
was
so similar.
it was a refresher to the series. Like
Right.
they were trying to appeal to a newer audience, like younger people, and
Right.
trying to go in a more directed storyline rather than being like, yo, this happened to your character, this is what he wants to do, figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, but if you actually start genuinely getting interested in like lore and how things like go in the Fallout series, I'd go back. I'd go to New Vegas, then 3, because 3 is kind of like the most. You got to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like when I played 3 when I was younger, it was hard as fuck. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But
Right.
now that I've gotten older,
Now you know the configuration. All
yeah,
that's easy
it's
for
just
you.
not my preference. That's why I don't play it. Like I have 2 other ones that I'd rather play before I play that
Before
one.
you get on 3. Yeah.
Jalen wants to know when the next Marley State of Mind episode is, as far as like an interview. You got someone next week?
Yes, sir. We'll be back next week with a guest for you. I never like to say the guest too far in advance because we sometimes might have to switch it up or do something. Yeah, we were supposed to have a guest on tonight, but unfortunately that didn't work out. So yeah, absolutely, we'll have a guest next week for you.
And he said, "What about Fallout 76?"
I didn't like it. I don't know. Like I said, I started playing Fallout. For me personally, when I started playing Fallout 76, it just made me want to play Fallout 4.
See, I've been on
I was
both
like, why am I
sides.
wasting my time doing this? You ever play something you're like, yo, why am I? I should just be playing something different. Like, why am I wasting time with this?
I've been on both sides of the Fallout 76 situation because when it first came out, everybody was expecting it. They heard multiplayer Fallout went nuts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, think about a multiplayer Fallout 4.
Right.
I'd still be playing it to this day.
Yeah.
Me and my homies still be on it to this day.
Right.
But it wasn't what it was hyped up to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know
there
what
was
we need to do.
when the game first came out, there wasn't no NPCs. It was literally you, and maybe you seen a person running in the woods somewhere. And then on top of that, if you seen someone, they would just kill you. Like it would just be like an awkward, silent interaction. They'd run away.
We need to all get on Red Dead Online.
I
Just
love Red
terrorize
Dead,
people.
We play that too.
I love Red Dead.
I can get it on PC. I
I
don't know
mean,
if it's
any
cross-plat.
Rockstar game's gonna be fire.
Yeah,
Let's
I
start
feel
with
like
that.
that's a game where we'd all have to be in the on the same console
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
because I don't think they do crossplay.
the Fallout. I mean, I have both. I think Jesse got both as well. So we're definitely good with same console. But for me, yeah, the Fallout series, I loved it. Like you said, the Easter eggs. I love the set because everything was very.
You know they built all of that. That's not no green screen or anything.
I believe I could tell. You could tell, and that's the thing I appreciated the most about it because it's authentic to the game. Like you see the vault, you know the vault. You're like, oh, I know how this works.
Mm-hmm. You know exactly.
I know where they're gonna go. I can tell how they're gonna move. Like
But that fly is a fucking monster.
it's a big fly. It's a really big fly flying through our lights for the studio. It's huge.
don't
We'll
know.
talk. That's what made me think about the Fallout actually because they got those big old bugs in Fallout.
bloat flies.
Yeah,
that fly is easy, like quarter size.
yeah, he's huge. No exaggeration. Look
No
at you.
diddy.
Look at you looking at the fly on camera.
Yeah, no diddy.
But
No Diddy's wild.
I like it.
No diddy is wild. No diddy
is wild.
Another thing that's making me very interested in the series because I've watched it all. I've watched
You
all
watched the
8.
entire one.
I've watched. I watched all 8.
I think I'm on like 6 or 7 or something.
This dude, whenever he was at the show
Yeah.
and he hadn't slept for like 18
'Cause
hours
he's
or
on
whatever,
Fallout.
is because he woke up at 2 a.m. to watch the whole series of Fallout.
No, I woke
That's
up at
what
2
you told
a.m.
me.
I woke up out my sleep at 2 a.m. I was like, fuck it. I'm up. I ain't going back to sleep. I've been asleep since like fucking 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I fell asleep. So I was like, I got on my phone. I started going through whatever app, and then I got on Discord because my Discord had a bunch of notifications on it. So I was like, damn, niggas are in the chat right now. They're all gaming. So I got on the game, and I started playing the game till like 7. Had to do the shit with my car at like 8:45. Came to the crib. I watched the first episode of Fallout at like 5 in the morning. I was like, damn. I thought it was only the first episode was out. I thought they were
releasing them.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like an episode of like release. So I was like, cool. I watched the first episode. It got me hype as hell. I went back to playing the game. Bro texted me at like 7 in the morning. He was like, it's like all that the whole first season's out.
Yeah.
I was like, you're lying to me. Checked Amazon. You can only watch. I spent money to watch that whole season. Like they was like, hey, you got Amazon Prime, but you need Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
Give me money.
You gave him money.
Take my shekels, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
It'd be
like, please. I need to see this.
No, it's very well done, man. It's very authentic to the game. I love how the set looks. I love how they were able to get that down. I love how the creatures look. I love how they associate the different factions throughout the game. Like the Brotherhood is still
It's all authentic, bro.
You know what I mean? And I'm still anticipating seeing other things pop up that you're familiar with in the game.
You said you're on episode 5.
Something like that.
I'm trying to think of how many factions you've seen already. All right, so you seen old dude, right? Old dude with the dog.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too. I don't want to get too.
So peep game. We're gonna do it like this. You seen black dude, right? The first Lucy, she's a vault dweller, right? That's off rip.
Yep.
Black dude, that's one faction. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Old dude, that's a whole other faction. That's another.
Right.
Did you see him when black dude and Lucy were walking across the bridge? They were walking across the bridge, and then them two other people.
Yeah.
They were in a faction.
Yep.
That's a whole nother faction in the game.
Yep.
You don't see that faction in Fallout 3, but you do. Actually, first episode, the Raiders use that. That's a faction.
Yes,
You've
I knew.
seen
Hey, bro,
4
and that's what I'm
factions
saying
already.
about. And that's what I'm saying about the game. This is what I'm saying about playing the game. I knew from rip that those dudes were Raiders. Whenever they came out and they looked crazy and they look unkept, and I seen all the scars on dude, I'm like, Vault Dwellers don't have all them scars on themselves.
No, just cause I'm hip to like how deep the Vault lore goes and like how many vaults they had going around doing all the shit they were doing.
Yeah.
I was like, something either crazy happened
In their
to that vault, or they're not who they're supposed to be.
I knew they were Raiders from rip, bro.
Nah, Bree, I see you knew better than me then.
I knew they were. I called as soon as I was like, oh, they're Raiders. When I seen all the scars on dude, and how he was messing with the faucet, I'm like,
yeah, because
I
picked up
I
hints
was
for
wondering
him.
why he looked so strange whenever they introduced who she was gonna get married to, and he was just like the way he was just looking.
Yeah.
Was like he looks like Prince-ish, so like I could imagine that's who they put up to marry, but at the same time, he just like the way he was staring was like he seemed like he not all there. In
One thing I like about Bethesda is that the fact throughout all the games, they have never reused the vault.
That's fire.
They have never reused the vault. 31, 32, and 33.
Yeah.
The fact that that's like a whole, you know what I mean?
Triangle type.
Yeah. That's a whole new concept that's never been used.
Okay.
Because like if you go through the games and you can pick up like notes, or you can go through terminals that like customers 200 years ago used, or like vault dwellers that like the vault is like nobody's in the vault no more type shit, like they abandoned, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll give you
Like
lore.
Vault 111.
Yeah,
for
like
example,
they were cryogenically frozen, you
Right.
know what I mean? Fucking Fallout 3, that they were like, it was a cool thing, but their water chip was broken. That was an experiment. Like Vault Tech did that to them. They were like, yo, we're gonna give them a faulty water chip that they gotta figure out.
So
how
that's
to fix
some of the Easter eggs.
Yeah. Like some of the factions you meet throughout the game, like the Boomers in Fallout New Vegas, they're a vault. They filled a vault full of people and filled a vault with like heavy artillery and like crazy ass shit, and let them learn about like war and shit like that. They turned into like a whole fucking,
because they do so many experiments in vaults.
yeah.
That's the whole
It's not.
purpose.
They do like scientific and social experiments.
Right.
Like they'll just do shit to people.
Yeah.
Like they'll just be like, hey, let's put one dude this is actually true. This is actual vault lore. They did 2 vaults. One had 1 dude and 99 women, and the other one had 99 dudes and 1 girl. And the one dude and the 99 one thing, he himself.
For real? The dude with the 99 women?
He said it was they said it was like a way more horrific experience for him
Really?
than it was for her.
See, if I had to guess on some, like if there was one man with 99 women and one woman with 99 men, I would imagine that the men would probably kill, like the 99 men would probably kill most of them. You know what I mean? Like most of them would probably kill each other before.
Oh yeah.
It's how I'd imagine it'll work if it was like a real type.
Oh no,
some
because
shit going down.
because think about it, it probably turned into like some type of like matriarchy.
I don't think so though. Like I feel like every man's gonna.
She got all the power in there, bro.
She definitely does. But and that's why I feel like all the men would want to be the only man.
Yeah, I would have to like see how that played out like with my own eyes because
Alas, you never do, because it's all just
Alas, you never do.
like it would all depend on circumstance, you know what I mean? Like if you're one dude with 99 women, the only way that I could see that necessarily going bad is if it's like
Nah, that'd be horrible.
Oh
bro.
no, you're good. It's you.
I mean, not necessarily. It just all depends the scenario.
That'd be horrible.
Like I would be able to like just live with 99 women and like if we fucking it's on my time, like I don't give a fuck what any of y'all bitches got to say. Like I'll backhand any one of y'all. Get out of here.
There's mad different vaults, bro. There's one where they had a cloning machine and a dude cloned himself. And then, like, it ended up, like, all the other vault dwellers just ended up dying, so it was just, like, a vault full of him.
Full of him.
But, it fucked up, so all they could say was just, like, his own name. His name was Dave, so all the other clones could just say Dave.
And that was
That's
their
it.
language.
Yeah.
Dave.
And then they learned how to clone themselves. So, eventually, like, the dude that did it died, and it was just, like, they just kept cloning themselves.
See, I wonder if she's, like, I wonder if they're going to have, I mean, obviously, depending on the popularity of this, of the series, they'll have more seasons ahead of
dude,
it. I wonder how much they'll dig into like all of that type shit.
The California Commission of like video or like movie or whatever it is already gave him like another 25 million,
extension,
bro.
Oh, okay.
It's over with. It's over with.
What, the people talking to us over there, Jess?
That's what I just seen. Nah, it was 10 minutes ago.
Oh, he said he'd be on Xbox. He said, oh, he was talking about how I said bloatfly because that's a real enemy you got to fight.
Oh, yeah, it's a bloatfly. Yeah,
bloatfly.
That's a real thing. He thought you was talking like one of them people.
That's easy XP.
Like a bloat. Hell yeah! So I fuck with the game for all of those reasons. The authenticity, the way I fuck with the show.
I told
for
you,
all
bro.
that
everything is
reason.
genuinely authentic.
Yeah,
everything
it's very
looks
authentic.
exactly the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's
like,
very authentic.
There is no, oh man, they could have did better on that.
Yeah,
you
no,
know what
for
I mean?
real.
Like,
Even the weaponry. When I seen the weaponry, like the makeshift guns and the turrets popping up, and I was like, oh man, this is
the fucking
this
jump
is
jet,
amazing.
the laser rifles, bro.
It's all very. Like I said, I'm still waiting for other factions to come about. Like some of the ones, I don't want to mention any by name because I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen them. But
You've seen 4 already.
Yeah, we'll
Real
talk
shit.
off camera about the one that I've been anticipating the most because I haven't seen one of them yet. But yeah, no, it's very cool. And if you haven't played the game yet, I hope it's
once
sparked
I
your
finish
interest. I
the
hope it piqued
series.
your interest in playing the game.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You're going to be blown
because I think
away,
I
bro.
was talking to him about it earlier. I think I know who you're talking about because I told him I want to see if there is ever a scene or an instance that even leads me to a hint that somebody is not what they're supposed to be.
Them too. I know you're not them, but
Okay.
them too. I'm waiting
Okay.
for them too. Of
Okay.
course, them, because that's going to
Because
be crazy.
Because then that would mean that a certain faction exists, and how are they gonna do that? Because
Oh, you know they existed.
but see, that's the thing though.
We're talking too cryptic for the
We're
people,
talking
for the-
way
for-
too cryptic.
for
We're
the people
talking
who
way
don't
too
know.
cryptic.
But yeah, so I highly recommend if you haven't seen the series, check out Fallout the series, and if you haven't played the game, definitely go ahead and fuck with Fallout the game. You forgot. Oh, that's the other joint over there.
Amazon
Mm-hmm.
just released Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 for free
Did
on
they?
Prime Gaming. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's crazy.
I seen an ad for it. I was gonna tag you. in
Hey,
it, but-
Amazon, if y'all watching us, man, we're always looking for sponsorships. And it don't even have to be big sponsors. If you got
See,
something local going on,
I'm just dropping
yourself.
plugs as a fan.
yeah. see,
Yeah, we need a sponsor.
if y'all got something going on locally, send us your gear. You got some merch, send us your gear. We'll rock that.
I wear a Volt suit.
And that goes
I
for
wear a
all
Volt
like
suit for a stream.
local
Yeah, local.
like local companies.
Yeah.
Like if y'all got a pizza shop or something, y'all want to send us something.
Send us food.
We'll
We'll
eat it,
review it.
review it.
Yeah, we'll review
Yeah.
it.
We know how to do commercials.
We'll plug it.
We had offers before, but the one offer that I had before, I don't know what was going on. We did like our podcasts were very sporadic at the time, and I just didn't get around to fulfilling it for them.
Yeah, definitely mess with us, man. Y'all got something going on, or even if you want to come on and interview, talk about what you got going on. Let us know. We're always open to that. We're definitely trying to help out the entrepreneurs. If you haven't had an opportunity, check out my episode with DD Diaz. That was definitely a dope interview.
Yeah.
You can catch a lot of dope tips about being a young entrepreneur or an entrepreneur coming up.
Yeah, she knows her shit.
Yeah.
She knows her shit for sure. So
a lot of your guests that you've brought on have dropped a lot of knowledge on here, man. You should definitely tune into the Saturday podcast, especially if Marley got a guest on here, because they're going to tell you something that you probably ain't know.
No, yeah. And I think that's one of the things I enjoy about this platform is, like, I find it to be, like, informative and educational. Like, I want it to be that. You know what I mean? I want it to be that for the people. So if someone comes on and they have a certain amount of success in what they're doing, if they can help you and give you a couple tips that they didn't know about it in the beginning, then yeah, hell yeah, man. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned some shit
Yeah, every
along
time.
the way. And
Every time.
that's the crazy thing is, like, you could talk to somebody that you've met or seen or even maybe hung out with like a whole bunch of times, but if you don't ever have like the setting of where y'all are having a more like personal conversations
Or a more direct conversation.
yeah, you might not ever get them to speak about those certain things that you
Right.
wouldn't have any idea about, or they have a different point of view on it that you didn't even think of
Yep.
seeing. Or
Every guest that I've had on, no matter how well that guest and I are connected, during the course of the interview, I learned something new about them, or they teach me something during the course of that interview. No matter who that guest is, and no matter what our relationship is, if we talk every day or if we talk once a month, you know what I mean? They teach me something and I learn something about them. I mean, that's one of the things that I enjoy as well about doing this. Is it's been a great opportunity for me to learn. You know what I mean? And I'm a life learner. Like I'm one of the people. I put a lot of value in learning things. I think knowledge is power. Not that I think I know knowledge is power. And if you can have $0 in your pocket, but have $1 million in your brain, and that's worth more than a mug that has $1 million in his pocket and nothing in his brain, because he's gonna lose that. And I always think about that because people are like, people talk about like equality and stuff like that, like raising minimum wage and things like that. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because I don't agree. Before people get on me about that, I don't agree with it for the fact if we start paying people at McDonald's $20, your burgers are going to be $40 now. That's why I don't agree with it. The company's not taking the loss. We, the consumer, are going to take the loss. They're not going to consume. They're not going to consume those prices. We are.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm against it. And usually those type of positions are entry level positions. That shouldn't be the end all be all for you. You should be thriving and do something more. But that's the reason I'm against that personally from an economical standpoint.
and that'll flood into other things. Like, you got to think about it this way. Like, okay, for example, I know somebody that's a janitor at a high school, and they get paid a certain amount, but then like someone that's been there, I don't know, like after a year or something or whatever,
Yeah.
they get paid like this much. But then if they raise
The other
their
guys,
pay,
yeah,
then their pay got to get
it
raised.
has to, yeah.
But then they're almost close to what the teachers are making. So
Right.
now the teachers,
It's a
gotta
ripple effect.
you know what I mean? So it's like, and that goes for like the health business,
yeah,
you know what I
100%,
mean?
yeah.
As far as like working in a hospital,
Yep.
the nurse gets paid more, or if the cleaning people get paid more,
Now all of
then
a sudden your medication is this much
Yep.
more.
yeah,
Your copay is that much more. But yeah, and that's what I'm getting at with the $1 million in your brain part. I say that to say this: even if we wiped the slate clean, right, and gave everybody in the world the same amount of money, it probably won't even be as long as I'm gonna give it, but give it 2 weeks. There's gonna be poor people and there's gonna be rich people all over again. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be the same people who were on top. They're gonna rise, and people who are on the bottom, they're gonna drop. Because everyone's not meant to rule. Everyone doesn't have it within them. everyone doesn't even have the know-how to handle certain things. I think you get things as you're prepared for them. The universe knows what you're ready for, and it gives it to you as you need it. Because there's a lot of things I have now that I didn't have when I was younger that I know, like, if I would have had that, I would have blown that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's no way I would have been able to maintain that.
Yep.
Because I wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I mean to say by that. But not that I'm against raising minimum wage. I am against raising minimum wage for the reasons I said, just because of the ripple effect that it would have. And whenever you're doing a job like that, it's not intended for you to do that for the rest of your life. That should be a starting point. It should be for like high school kids or people who are trying to get experience.
A stepping stone.
It should be a stepping stone. They're not saying if that's where you're at and you find a way to make that stepping stone. Like, a lot of people work for fast food restaurants and become a general manager and make cake.
Oh hell yeah.
They make bread.
My boy AJ was making loot at McDonald's.
Yes, it can happen for you. So don't get me wrong. And I'm not down in food. Food service is a very difficult job. I've never done it, and I couldn't imagine doing it. Food service is a very difficult job.
The closest I got was when IHOP first came to Uniontown. I was going to be one of the first crew members. Like, I went in, even did orientation. The second that I even got all the like gear and everything, like I had the whole outfit. As soon as they told me I was going to be cleaning the toilet, walked out.
Here.
Nah, you know.
And then
that's what I mean.
That ain't
even in the aspect of
somebody's got to do that though.
Even in the aspect of sometimes
I clean my toilet at my house.
Yeah.
I ain't about to clean the toilet that old Becky decided to spread her cheeks and shit all over the wall. Also, no, you're crazy.
And I understand the fact that sometimes it's hard to get hired other places, like especially for when it comes to like a job that's paying more and fits like certain criteria, like, oh, I want to work close to home,
right?
Like, oh, I need these type of hours, like I need this shift, like whatever,
right?
And because there was a good time, like before I found my current job, you seen it. I went 2 months just applying everywhere, just anywhere that just like had at least a slight increase in income. You know what I'm saying? And there were 4 out of the. I'd go as far as saying if I go into my Indeed, it'd say like 24. Like, I applied to like 24 different places.
Hell yeah!
Out of that, 4 jobs replied. 3 of them told me no. And then I got the job I'm currently at now.
No, all it took was that one yes though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's effort. That's all it takes. Is effort.
I mean,
and I'm not gonna say that. Like, it's not all that it takes. There's obviously
a big part of it.
It's a major part of it.
That's a big
it's
part
like
of it.
I'd say it's 85%.
And like we was saying earlier, punctuality and being professional
goes a long way.
You know what I mean? If a motherfucker tells you be there at 7 a.m. for the interview,
be there at 6:45.
Be there at 6:45 or even 6:30. Waiting, like, hell yeah, I'm ready to. I want this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go inside and talk to whoever is around. Like, hey, so
and that's gonna make you stand apart too.
Yeah.
No,
you got to be willing to do the stuff that other people won't do.
For the interview with my job, I got off work. I had a polo in my back seat just so I can change polos because I already had khakis and some work shoes on, like just some nice shoes on. Changed polos in the car as I'm driving there. Pulled up, did the interview with him.
Yeah.
Like, I told him too. I was like, yo, I gotta be over at this Demeanor over here at like whatever. I think it was like what, I can't remember when I got off at the dealership, whatever. But that's besides the point. Either way.
Yeah.
But effort.
It takes that effort. You got to be willing to do, and that's anything you do. Like, if you watch like the NBA draft, you're gonna hear kids talking about you're gonna hear the parents talking, we practice every day in the yard at 5:45 a.m. and got up. If you watch the world champion chess match, best believe I'm like, we started him off when he was 3 years old, and he used to play whatever you see someone doing. They did something. They did the stuff that other people weren't willing to do in order to get there. Chess is not so much now. Like, a lot of the chess stuff is like, a lot of things with chess is just like muscle memory. Like, you just like most openings. There's certain openings that are always going to happen.
You put a chessboard in front of me right now. I'm gonna be here a minute.
It's all about tactical strategy, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is one thing that I am absurdly good with.
I can play checkers. If that means anything.
You ever try to play chess though?
I've tried. Like, I've tried to play on the computer.
He used to watch me and Justin and them sit there and play chess. A
No,
lot.
I didn't.
Really? We used to
No.
play chess a lot.
No.
out
Did you
in
play
Miss
chess a
Becky's.
lot? Yeah.
I watched Lancha and Greg play Mancala, or however you pronounce it, before I watched you and Justin play chess.
I taught myself how to play chess on a computer. My dad got me a computer, and it didn't have a lot of shit on it at the time.
I
And
would
it had chess on there, and that's how I taught myself how to play chess. Is just trial and error. Like, oh, I can't do that. Okay, I guess that doesn't do that. Oh, I can do that. Oh, cool. Like just trial and error. Just taught myself how to play.
I learned it in school recess.
Did you?
Mm.
Yeah, no, I taught myself.
I went to dealer school because I had to. I worked at the casino for a little
okay.
bit. Yeah, I was a tables games dealer. So they taught me how to like professionally play blackjack. They taught me how to play all the side games. But then my homies taught me how to play poker. Real shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know what else? No, the main thing that taught me how to play poker.
This in poker, my boy.
Playing Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Going to the bar and playing Red Dead because it's like actually how you play poker.
Yeah.
And you don't really lose
We
money.
need to get
like,
a poker night going.
Man.
No, I ain't losing pape.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like,
I ain't losing pape.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
for me to
I don't even.
It's tough for me to gamble. Like I got into sports gambling for a little bit during football, and I might when football season come back, I might get back into it. Definitely gonna lay down a
No, we do
parlay.
a poker night. It'd be like $20 buy-in,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
no.
it.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type where I'll come here, play poker night, throw some bread in here, get pissed, go home, and I'll throw some bread in like CS:GO, open a couple cases, won't get shit, and then go to bed mad as hell.
Yeah,
And then I try to play and then lose, so I'm even more mad.
we do $20 buy-in, like 10-cent, 20-cent hands.
You might
and
as
shit,
well
you
set
know
a
what I mean?
million.
$20?
You might as well set a billion. What do you?
No, I'll do that. I'll do that for Why are you looking at him with that look of disgust, bro?
I might as well give you a card
He
payment.
acting like $20 is the end of the
That's my
world.
life.
You gotta see your face, bro. Giving him that look of disgust.
That's my life.
You were upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you. You were mad.
That's my life. Cause what? Cause
Mad.
what? Cause what? Then what? What if my life start fucking up, and then that $20 could have been my life?
$20?
Listen, not even.
I don't want to hear it.
But that $20
What
could
if
have
he
been my
gain- what if
last.
he gains
Yeah.
a gambling addiction because of that $20? Now he's at the
Forever
casino.
trying to get that 20 back.
20
Forever
cents or
chasing
20
that dub.
bucks. If he's going to get the gambling addiction, it's going to happen.
I'm out here forever chasing that dub because of you.
He's chasing
What
that
if you
high.
win
Because
it?
You stole $20.
What if you
from
win
me.
it? Then he's gonna want to win more.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna double
I'm
down
gonna
and
try
want
to
to win
up it.
more.
Then you're going to thank me.
You started it though. That's the whole premise of this conversation.
Is it? That leads me to something though, right? Y'all ever have a homie who like had a problem, like whether it be drinking or gambling or something like that, like and had to confront him about it?
A spending problem, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had homies that had problems, but I've never had to like
Confront him
confront
about it.
them about it because like I don't know how, or by the grace of a higher power, they end up like
Straightening up.
getting themselves out of it over time.
Yeah. I bumped head with my
Like
I
all
bumped
my
heads with
homies
brother
that were
about some
bad
shit
off are
I ain't
like
gonna speak
doing
about,
great
but
now, and I'm so thankful for them.
It was just some shit that I was like, yo, as a brother, like we need to have this conversation, you know what I mean?
I feel like it's difficult, right? Because sometimes you got to know if it's your place to do it or not do it,
See,
and how it's going to be received.
in my
And
case,
you
I'm
want to
the-
be you want to be a good friend too at the same time. So like not saying nothing is you're definitely lame for
Yeah.
not saying nothing.
See,
Or
like-
you just don't care enough about that person, right?
Or actually, no, one homie.
You've had that
We have
conversation.
one. We have one homie that we have had too. He's also your homie. You just weren't here
Can
for
I see
that
your spark, bro?
conversation. I don't know why. You asked. My bad. I don't know why I just told the mic my bad. One.
He did bump the mic. and said, "My bad."
yeah, he's like, my
Saw them
fault, bro.
strange clouds in the room.
Um,
My fault.
Two. I don't know why he asked for the lighter, and instead of handing it to him, I lit my blunt again because it was already lit.
I
You
thought
ain't
you
even
were
need to
just-
light- I thought you needed to light it. That's hilarious. Those things are a funny combination of things.
Damn.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to confront people
out
in
here
those
fucking up.
situations, like because you don't know how to approach it. You don't know if it's going to be received well, if it might ruin your relationship or your friendship. But I mean, if it's detrimental to them,
See,
none of that even matters. You know, what I mean, you just got to take that risk. But I'm always conflicted with things like that. Like, how far do you let it get before you say something? Even.
But I feel like if you just ignore it, or you just let it happen and go about your business, and then something happens, or like not even something happens, or it causes tension, like
happens,
between, yeah, like well, I'm just saying beyond that,
yeah,
like, or it gets to a point where the confrontation is like unavoidable,
right.
like something happens to where it's like y'all are now at odds about it. I'd rather get to it and have a conversation than argue about it later. Just
Are you just like that in life? Like, you always want to take things head on, like not procrastinate about shit?
In most cases, yeah. If it's just some minor shit, like if it's nothing that's like, all right, it's not affecting you or it's not affecting the people like around us or like that we care about, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and if you can even handle yourself in a situation where like you feel like, or you're not even like, you feel like you can be independent. It's like, if I need you, I'll call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll respect that. But like, if it's something that it's like, hey man, like, you're not making yourself look bad, but it's noticeable. You know what I'm saying? Like, something's going on.
But you're not letting nobody crash out.
Yeah,
though.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not about to let you crash out. I'm not about to make yourself. I'm not about to make you. I'm not about to let you put yourself in a position you can't get out of or some shit like that.
Yeah, man.
I'm a good friend, essentially.
And sometimes people just got to hit that rock bottom, though, for them to even, like, sometimes it ain't even nothing you can say to them.
Niggas got to learn, bro.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't even nothing you can say to them. And they just got to find, like, life's the best teacher sometimes. It gives you the best lessons.
That is the roughest thing is, like, some people, will go, whether it be rehab or, whatever, come back, same thing over and over and over, and it's like, sometimes it gotta get to like, you lost it all, before reality smacks you in the face.
See, like, bro's like really my cousin, so he knows the shit I grew up
Been
around.
Through, yeah,
like the same people I was around, he was around 10 years before me. So like I'd get around him, he'd be like, yeah, I'd be talking about shit, he'd be like, yeah man, don't be around that, or like you need to start doing this instead of like keep like doing what you're doing there and there. And then obviously I had other people in my family, just like uncles, my pops and shit like that would be like, that kept me on my toes. Like they taught me like there's really like consequences to shit. And you don't even gotta learn the hard way. You can just look around, you know what I mean? Like, and that I really took that shit to heart, and I'm here now.
No, that's good though, man. Like, and that's the thing. Some people they'll hear those things, the same things that you're talking about, that you benefited from. Yeah, and it won't hit. It won't hit them like until that shit happens to them, until they have to face the consequences. You know what I mean? And that's a terrible way to have to learn a lesson, is to have to face the consequences. You know what I mean? I think that's a part of like truly becoming wise, is being able just to heed the advice that's given to you when it's good.
That's why I be trying to preach to all my like little homies or my close friends and shit, like that are younger than me, and I feel like might not have gone through some of these things that I have yet, because my dad tried to warn me about some of this shit, and other like elders to me tried to warn me, and it's like, I was one of those hard-headed people. I was invincible.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was invincible. I was doing whatever I wanted to do. It didn't matter. And there's a lot of decisions I made that I shouldn't have.
Right.
There's a lot of people I met that I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through it all. And so now I'm like, I assume that a lot of these people that I try to talk to and preach to are hard-headed like I was. But if even 2 or 3 of them aren't,
that it gets through to any of them,
yeah, then
it's well
cool.
worth it.
Maybe I'd stop someone from being a fuck up,
from crashing out. Yeah,
there's just like there's a difference between not understanding and just being like blatantly ignorant to what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that'll listen to respond, and there are people like that'll listen to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. There's people who are waiting to say something. Like, they want to say their next thing. Yeah, they're not listening to nothing you said. Like, they heard you, but they're not listening to nothing you said. They're waiting for you to stop so they can be like, all right, it's my turn.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, that's unfortunate. Two ears, one mouth. Truly makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how nature works. Things work are the way they're supposed to be. Like, everything works so in sync with one another. You know what I mean? And having two ears is a real thing. Like you need to listen more than you talk, because you can never learn anything by talking. You know what I mean? You already know all the shit that you saying.
That's why I usually be the quietest motherfucker in the room.
Yeah,
I say stuff whenever I have something to say.
yeah.
Exactly.
No, true indeed.
Yeah, and that's a part of the reason I don't go outside, because I feel like it's kind of the same shit everywhere. So like, no matter where,
a lot of rinse, wash, and repeat type shit.
yeah, like no matter what club, what bar I go to, it's the same environment. It's like there's gonna be different people. Obviously, there's gonna be different things that are going on, just like different interactions.
But what are you really
and shit
missing?
like that? Yeah, I'm not missing nothing. Like
Yeah.
I could go there any day of the week, and it's gonna be the same
Same,
thing.
yeah.
It's just gonna be more or less people depending on the situation.
Yeah.
There might be some special person in there that day. Like I'm just not.
But you don't also want to limit yourself from opportunities, because there might be a networking opportunity
And
there.
if I had $1 for
That's-
every time I heard
yeah.
that,
That's always the roughest thing too. Is like
Yeah, it's a two-edged sword. Green said that to me when he was
Yeah,
here. Is
like
what made me realize,
being
because I feel
out.
the same way. But if you're in the house, you can't make genuine connections and real.
no, real shit. My only restriction is me, bro. Like you're like,
What's all I
and-
say? Somebody wrote us a goddamn.
Oh yeah, no,
chapter.
that's one of those scam
Oh,
oh yeah. But yeah,
promotion
that's
things.
I've come face to face with that. That's my biggest obstacle at this very moment. It's like, man, I gotta stop like limiting myself to certain things. It's like, all right, I took the phrase "have fun in moderation" too literal, because like I'll wake up in the morning on payday. You know what I mean? I'll spend hundreds of dollars in bills. Like
Yeah,
the bills,
I'm the same
I'll pay
dude.
bills I won't even need to.
bro, I'm the same.
You know,
dude.
like it'd
Yeah.
just be like, just so I ain't gotta think about it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just like, then I'll get to a point where it's like, all right,
Why did you have were your parents like that, or were they the
See,
opposite?
my parents, they weren't like, I was just raised to be like,
'Cause
once you get to a point where you're old, like once you get to a point where you're on your own and you're doing things by yourself and you're taking care of things on your own, you got to make sure that you stay on top of that, because you
Yeah.
can really like, obviously they didn't say it like this, but they were like, you can really fuck your life up like
Yeah.
before you even get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like they was like, yeah, you was like, you can have a really really nice car, but if you can't afford that motherfucker, that's one thing. But then if you can't afford to drive it, you can't afford to fix it.
I think, because I'm a lot the same with what you're saying, and I think for me it's because I understand the roller coaster that is life, like the waves that it is. Like I know, like there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times. There's one thing I know, is that for sure. As long as I'm living, like just as much as things are good, there's going to be some bad stuff to come behind it. And not that I'm, not that I'm waiting for bad things to happen, because fools look for
You just wanna
storms
be
on
ready.
a sunny day. But I want to be prepared.
That's
for,
how I
for
feel,
when
bro.
and if it does happen.
Like,
I don't want to get caught. You know what I mean? No Diddy with my pants down. You know what I mean? I don't want to be caught like that. You see what I did there? I don't want to be caught like that. You know what I mean? Because I want to be prepared for whatever it is. So while it's going good, cool. But we still gonna make sure business is getting taken care of.
I'm
See.
always called a negative person because people will bring ideas to me and stuff, and I'll point out like the potential hiccups or bumps and
Oh,
stuff.
I don't like that either.
But it's just like,
Do you provide solutions though?
yeah,
as well?
Well, that's the thing though. The only hiccups that I'll bring up are the ones that like are,
You think don't have a solution?
yeah, is like if this happens, you're fucked.
Because
If
I
and
mean,
it's usually one or two things. You know what I mean?
see, because I'm always saying this as well. Like,
But I'm a very
don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. Like,
yeah.
if you
I mean,
have-
I'm
if
a
you have-
very optimistic
my
person,
boss
but
says
I'm
that shit
realistic.
all the time, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's like a
I look at
word
things
for word.
realistic. Like
yeah.
if this happens, this is like you got a realistic chance that this is gonna
Because
happen.
there's always solutions, right? Like just as many problems there are, there's just as many solutions, and that's why I'm like, that's why I have a problem with that thing that you're mentioning. Because there's so many times that you'll bring something up and people be like, oh man, but this could happen and that could happen. I'm like, well, what good? Like, how do we get past that though? Like, what you telling me what can happen is not going to do anything? Like, of course things, and this goes back to the original point, right? Of course, good things are going to happen and bad things are going to happen. But what do you do when those bad things occur?
Oh, yeah.
what do you do?
Bro.
Like, it's the bounce back. I always talk about the bounce back. Like, you're gonna fall, but what do you do when you bounce back up?
I'm being dead serious, and you can ask him because I've done it in front of him. I probably audit myself once a week, just being like, all right, where are my finances at? Where is my what are all my percentages looking like? Where
He
is
said,
all
how
my money?
fucked up is my life right now?
Yeah, like not even. I was just like, all right, where is everything? Where is everything going? Just so I can see where I need to put my money. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whether it be my car, whether it be towards other things, like whether like I'm not about to spill all my finances on the internet.
Right.
But like we've talked about it a million times because we come down here and we chill for fucking 3-4 hours and all we'll talk about is like money this, money that, finances this, finances that, and I'm real heavy on it just because like I kind of put myself through a financial penance of I'm gonna deal with all the bullshit now just so when I'm at that point of I'm 34, 35, 40, whatever, and I'm just like I'm getting tired of working. I can chill, you know what I'm saying?
That's it,
Like not
yeah.
even retire. Like obviously, I don't want to be one of them ones that retire at like 60.
But you want to work on your own terms.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be. You're not trying to have your time rented out no more.
Exactly.
You don't want to be a slave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of want to have like a circulating income that like I don't necessarily have to do anything, and not even in the aspect of like running a business like hands on, just having like passive
Even if it's
income.
an investments
exactly.
or something like that. Yeah. And that's another thing I heard that was key for me as far as finances was concerned is learning that you should have your money making you money somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like money should be like little generals that go out and collect other dollars or just steady recruiting them.
Yeah.
And that's the move. Like once you get to there, then you're in a good space to be.
Speaking of,
But see,
why Bitcoin tanking
I'm
right
a very
now?
skeptical person, especially when it comes to like doing
Don't do
anything
me
when
like
it comes
that.
to my money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when my boldest thing I've ever done with my money was like getting into like stocks and cryptocurrency on Robinhood, because I didn't put too much money in there, but like I was like I don't really know about this.
Right.
Like there's like got people saying like, oh, you should like spend like this much money right now, or you should go buy this right now, and
Well,
I'm like.
It's like anything. You just got to research when it comes to stocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the advantage of having like YouTube where you can talk. You can see people who are successful in those arenas,
But see, sometimes, man, that
and you can
gotta be
you can kind of mimic what they do.
Because sometimes it's smoke and mirrors, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to
Very-
research. You got to research. You just can't take it at face value. I think anything that you consume or hear, you know what I mean, or anything that you're taking in, you should research and see if it's true. Like I a lot of time you hear people say, "Oh, I read somewhere that so and so said this." Like, you read it where though?
It's like, all
Where
right.
did you get that from?
Mhm.
So there's a great one going around. Everybody that I see on Facebook is still saying about how Putin showed that thing that supposedly.
Man, we done got all the way into politics.
Well, no, it's just it.
I was fucking
But
with
did
you.
either of you see that video?
What is it?
It's an old video, but they never explain the context because he's speaking in Russian. But he's opening up this box, and what it actually is it's like a Russian soldier, like it's a statue of Jesus or somebody that looks like him or something, but he's black. And they're saying that Putin is opening up a box from forever ago that the Europeans
I think
never
you were telling
wanted
me
open.
about this the other day, and I looked it up, and I couldn't. No, you weren't. It was. I think it was. Yeah, it was one of my coworkers. I think so.
Yeah,
No,
everyone's.
I'm not familiar with the story.
Yeah, everyone
looked it
thinks
up, I
that it's
couldn't find it,
yeah,
though.
everyone thinks that it's real.
Yeah.
Because there is a video of him opening up a box and it has a black Jesus in it, but it's supposed to be like this soldier
Ancient artifact type
charm
deal.
or something that like they show.
It was done like
It's like they show it often,
yeah.
or
Oh.
semi often, but then they like spun the video to make it with a different context, like and posted it nowadays.
Right.
And made it sound like the I don't want to necessarily say the Vatican, but the Europeans didn't want anyone to know, and it ain't been opened in forever, so he opens it up live, and oh, Jesus is really black, and
I mean, what's that
he
gonna-
he
what's that gonna
definitely
do,
probably is Middle Eastern.
Let's
You
get
know
down
what I
to
mean?
the real question.
Well, he's 100%. Well,
He's from the Middle East, so
correct. And we're all from Africa. Everything originated in Africa.
Church.
Pangea, et cetera, et cetera. So if they came from that area, he obviously doesn't look like those pictures
Yeah.
that they show us to this day.
Correct.
He is most likely dark from the sun.
Yeah, I do
from
not.
that
I do
region.
not doubt
Yeah.
or.
I mean, but what difference does it make though? Like, what are people going? You're not going to
Yeah.
be Christian no more if you find out Jesus is
Yeah,
black?
I don't
Like,
see what the big deal is. Regardless,
they're gonna hang it up. Like,
I
it's
just
gonna be
think it's-
pandemonium in the streets.
I just think it's
That
wild
would be
that it's like.
fucking hilarious. Hey, listen, I hope that if it disturbs people that much, I hope that it's revealed sooner than later.
Living in an apartment building and that,
Bro, what?
when that happens,
If
like
it freaks
they
people
just
out
put
that
on
much-
the news.
My God. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Because if you're a person that's that disturbed by it, then you deserve to be
Or something
that
wrong.
disturbed
You need
by
studied.
it. No, you deserve to be that disturbed by it.
But I'm just like, yeah, but you need studied because like we need a mental evaluation on you.
No, we don't.
It
need to
was
know
just
any- we don't need to
crazy
know any more
how-
about you than what we
No,
already do.
I need to
It was
get
just
behind the
crazy how
scenes
like
on
they
that.
posted that video.
Yeah.
A couple places posted it, and then I see everybody talking about it on Facebook, and then I Google it, and the first thing that comes up is that it's fake.
Yeah, I mean, but there's so much, and that's exactly it, right? That's why you got to do the research. The point of what you're saying is that's why you got to do the research, and you just can't take it at face value. Whatever people are feeding to you, because so often, especially with social media now, and as much false information that's given, people will say like, "Yeah, I read somewhere." Like, where's somewhere, bro?
Or my buddy told me.
Yeah, like where's the somewhere you read it at? And I always implore people, if I say something, if you hear me say something and I'm not 100% sure about it, I will tell you before I start talking about it. Like, this is completely my theory,
Yeah.
how I feel about it. This is not factual. I'm not basing this off of anything. And if I tell you something that's based off of something to be fact, I will tell you, look it up for yourself.
Like,
And I'll try to tell you to the best of my ability exactly where I got it from.
the only news I genuinely trust is like local news.
Yeah,
like
local
if
news
I'm reading
fire.
nothing like about Pittsburgh or
Yeah,
like
local news
something
fire.
around here or some shit like that. Like
Bro,
I'm
I
not
love Channel
like
4,
global news or like
WTA.
politics and like shit like that. I'm like anything that's on TV or
Yeah.
like on the internet. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
why I
necessarily
can't get
wanna
into
believe it unless
politics
it's like
or
an
anything.
actual. I'll believe TMZ before I believe a politician.
That's fair.
If a person
That's
passes
fair.
away, if a person passes away, I'm not going on like no, I'm not going on Google. I'm not going on none of that. I'm going on. Well, I'm getting on whatever my internet platform is, and I'm typing in TMZ.com. If it pops up, it's real. It's real.
Hey, TMZ, we need that sponsorship, bro. You already
It's real.
partnership.
When has TMZ ever been wrong about anything?
I don't know. I'm sure they've been wrong about something. I'm sure.
I
Or
bet
maybe-
you
Entertainment Weekly.
They might have had to retract a statement here or there.
their
Yeah, because they
batting.
do-
I
they-
bet
people
you
do
their
that.
batting average is high.
He said, "What does academics have to say about it?"
No, see,
Ja Rule have to.
Yeah,
capping.
where's Ja?
he be clapping.
Where's No, I seen it. You know
He
they
be
got that.
He over whooping.
Yeah,
They got
definitely
the
overruled.
Drake diss out now.
That leak.
Yeah, is it- do you
that's
think
what
it's
I was gonna
AI?
Ask you about.
Or
Man,
do you
I
think
think
it's real?
I think this. I'll tell you this. Let me start with this. I think it's sad that we live in a time now where we even have to question this type
Yeah,
of thing.
because he be saying some. But that's the thing is,
That
I don't.
disturbs me.
It
That we
sounds
have to
like
question
it's
these things.
real, but the things he's saying is like I couldn't see Drake just coming out and saying this
No, no,
stuff
my-
only because he's like he'll
He
say it in
typically-
a super cryptic way.
Yeah, bro's good with subliminals.
Yeah.
He's on his Jay-Z subliminal stuff. But I mean, when him and Meek was beefing, he wasn't no subliminals about that. But I would have a hard time believing that he would come at K-Dot that way, or he did do it and it got leaked.
My first thing I'm doing when
A lot
that
of those
Drake
guys make
diss-
music that they don't think nobody's ever going to hear.
when that Drake diss drops, if it's real, and it drops, the first thing I'm doing, because I'm a Spotify user, because Spotify is the best music platform, I'm going to the song credits and I'm seeing who wrote that motherfucker.
Oh.
Because at this very moment in time, I don't give a fuck about albums. I don't give a fuck about singles. I don't give a fuck about features. If you got 13, 14, 15 niggas that do that shit, that you're cool, you know what I mean? Because if you're mad at Drake for doing it, you got to be mad at Travis Scott. You got to be mad at SZA. You got to be mad at all these other
Yeah,
people that
they're
got ghostwriters.
entertainers.
Exactly. They're musicians. They're and on top of that, they're fucking multimillionaire, double A-list celebrities. You know what I mean?
I think we spoke about this on the one episode, how I feel about ghostwriters. I think it's in how you present yourself. Like,
Exactly.
Are you presenting yourself to be a writer?
Drake's a pop star. Drake's not
He's a
genuine.
pop star, yeah.
Drake's a pop star that can rap.
Yeah.
Because he has a rapping history,
He has a
and on
rapping
top of that, he
background,
still
yeah.
will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his past 2 albums have been rapping. You know what I mean? But then again, if you look at like Take Care,
Yeah.
or
Like you said, he's a pop star that can rap.
exactly.
Um,
But this is a moment in time where, like, bro, if you're saying it, you should. If this is what you're bringing to the battle,
writing it.
it needs to be you. You
yeah,
know what
right,
I mean?
Exactly.
Like, if
Because
the
you know
thr-
J. Cole wrote his.
exactly,
You know Kendrick wrote his.
exactly.
I still can't get over Cole redacting his statements.
He took it off platforms. He really like took his word for. He
Why
was like, yo,
why do you think he did that? Do you think it was for the reasons he said, or do you think it was
I
something
think it
else?
was
No.
for the reasons he said, but I feel like in the rap industry and as a man, if you say some shit enough you put it out there, I mean, whether you say it to the person's face or you make a diss and put it out to the world, you got to stand on it.
how many
You know what I
times
mean?
have you
Even
said
if
something to somebody and you
gotta
apologize for
keep
what you
that
said?
out there.
I agree with that.
But that's what I'm saying though, is if you're wrong, apologize. I'm man enough to apologize when I'm wrong, definitely.
He feels like he
But
feels
if I
as
say
if he's
some
wrong.
shit and I feel that way,
You gotta stand on that.
But he said that he was like, I felt like it was as if the fans wanted a response and I was obligated to give him one. That's what I got from his statement. That's not
I mean,
what
I
he
get
said
that
but
because that is the expectation from him, and if he really didn't feel right about it in his soul, then so be it. I mean, this is the thing. I think hip hop is a sport. I think it's a competitive sport. I think my favorite time periods in hip hop are a lot of beef records, and I think they're cool. I think they're fun. I think it helps elevate the game. I think it starts piquing the interest. Hip hop is taking a fall from grace. It hasn't been number one for a long period of time on the top Billboard charts, so that could have helped feed that.
yeah.
So I think you're doing a huge misjustice to history when you do something like that. Imagine if we couldn't listen to Hit 'Em Up right now. Imagine if we couldn't
Mace-
listen to Ether.
Mace
right
got
now.
this so
Yeah.
hard he turned into a pastor, and they still fuck with him just on the podcast tip.
No, Mace did. No, that's not the timeline for that. I know what you're referring. That's not the timeline for that.
Come on,
Mace became a pastor prior to
he
the
went.
beef,
He
man.
turned to God. He was like, man, this rap shit ain't for me,
No,
bro.
that's not how. That's not how. Who dissed him? Who are you referring to?
Fuck, I think it was 50. Wasn't it 50?
No, that's not the time. Cam dissed him. Him and Cam had
Yeah, they
a
was
big,
beefing
They
for
had
a
a
little
big
minute.
beef, and that was like the biggest beef for Mace. But that
They had a good comeback.
he
though.
went to church prior to all that.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with turning to God. That we ain't making fun of that.
No, not at all, not at all. But yeah, no, I that's the reason I don't like the move is because he's robbing us of something.
Yeah, you could have just
stand on,
stood
like you
on,
said, stand
I
on
feel
that.
like
Yeah,
if
you
you
could've
listen
just
to
stood
it,
on
though,
it
you could tell he
and-
wasn't in it. Like he didn't.
I thought it was fire.
yeah, but you could have let everybody get their words out, let everyone express themselves,
Yeah.
and then let the fans judge.
Yep.
I mean, let the people
See,
decide who did what and
that's
how
like-
it come out,
That's
and
like
then
if
everyone
Kobe,
back to cool.
That's like if Kobe and LeBron are best friends. They're like, I'm not playing against him. I don't want to hurt his feelings if I score more.
yeah,
points than him.
like you're winning against them. Like Kobe's winning against LeBron, and then in the halftime, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay on the bench. I ain't right about that. Can you
Yeah,
take my
'cause
30
my
points
question-
off the
Yeah,
board?
My question was,
exactly. That's a good. Or if you're a UFC fighter, and you're both in the same weight class, and you're best
Yeah,
friends.
I'm knocking you out.
Nate and Joey
Well,
Diaz did fight. They're brothers.
And
Yeah.
it's a championship belt on the line. You're gonna be like, bro, that don't sit right with me. Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like I know I punched him in the mouth and it hurt. Like I can't go back out that second round. Like just like you said, remove the points that you gave me for that round, Judge, and we'll just call it
Just
even.
let him win.
See,
Like you shouldn't be in that sport anymore
because
if you feel that way.
I feel like as if because
It's been
like
competitive since the
J.
start.
Cole's always been the one where he's like, yo, man, I was like, I ain't got no beef with nobody, bro. Like everybody has their rightful place and where they are right now. And
When-
like not
when
even
is
in
he-
the aspect of the
when
big
is
three,
he-
just like anywhere.
No, he's always been
Wait.
on conflict. I mean that whole 1984.
See, And
That
even
was
then, see why? But he even did that back then. He did it. He was like, "My bad, Lil Pump. That wasn't about you, bro." He was like, "I was just kind of saying in general." And then even this
he
new
didn't
shit
say
with
my bad. He said he told Little Pump misinterpreted how he projected it. He wasn't apologizing for what he said. He was apologizing that he misunderstood what he said. I think that's the difference.
But I feel like there's been multiple instances where J. Cole said something. Somebody
Are you
got
a J. Cole fan?
yeah.
Okay, I can
But
tell.
see, in here. But that's my thing in this whole situation.
So
I'm
you have
I'm
some
on Kendrick's side.
So
in
you
this
have
whole
some
situation.
bias, so it's a little bit difficult.
No, but
for you
see,
to
that's
be-
what I just said. In this situation, I'm on Kendrick's side because
How
I
so?
feel like he
See,
got
I'm a
brought
fan
into.
of all of them. So
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all of them, real shit. But I was like, but in my head, I was like, Kendrick got brought into something he really ain't ever even
I don't
mentioned.
think they dissed him on that track though. Do you perceive first person shooter as a diss?
I
thought
don't
they were
perceive
bigging
it
him
as
up
a
on there.
diss. I perceive it as like a they're trying to little bro Kendrick. Like it's like, hey man, like there's three of us that everybody loves, but you know who they really love though. Like you know who like out of the three of us, you know who's not three.
But that's
and
the
it's
thing
not
about
him or
art.
me.
So that goes right back to what you're saying about the Lil Pump thing. Like that's how you may have perceived it. That's how he may even have perceived it. But is that how it was intended to come out? Like the fact that they mentioned him on a song that he had nothing to do with.
I feel like
think that's giving him props.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
J.
Like,
Cole has
I'm not mentioning nobody on a song that I'm doing it and showing them love and giving them promotion.
J.
if they
Cole
don't have
has
nothing
this
to do with
teeny
it.
tiny habit where he'll say something, and then somebody like he'll say something where like he's talking about somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's talking about somebody, and then like somebody will say something which the person that says something almost fits the exact description of what he's like. You're like, yo man, that's all right, that's him. Like he never says like it's not him. They let homeboy have their little run of like, oh, J. Cole just dissed me, this that the third, and then J. Cole comes out and it's like,
I mean, and that's the thing
You
too.
know,
Like you
that-
could be,
he was
you
like,
could be
"It's not
blocking, you
about
could be
you, bro."
blocking your blessing by not embracing it. Like going back to the Kobe and LeBron reference, I'll never forget there was an All-Star game with Kobe and LeBron, and the game was tied, and LeBron had the ball in the last couple seconds, and he passed the ball away, and Kobe looked at him. He's like, "Why did you do that? Like you had a chance to make history. Like people would have been replaying this for forever. This moment, you should have took the shot, and rather you missed it or made it, it would have been a historic moment.
no, if J. Cole would have
Why
really
did you
tried,
Why
he'd-
did you
it'd have been
pass that?
over. If J.
And that's
Cole-
what I'm saying. Like, why would you rob the fans of a moment? Why would you rob the
Legend.
culture of a moment?
history in the making. Right
It's history
there.
in the
Because
making.
I feel like it wasn't friendly competition.
And
I
they're
feel like
and
it
they're
wasn't
they're,
like
they're at the top of the game.
this ain't. I feel because this ain't.
Bro, we've had so many things in hip hop history go down that same way, and then a little bit after, they do end up apologizing, but they do it the right way, where they call each other, they figure things out, and then TMZ or someone else reports on how they made up and dapped up and seen each other at a party and everything was cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But see, I feel like once you have a nigga as messy as Drake in the mix, that has now added layers to the beef. Because at this point in time, it's not just Drake, it's not just Future, or not. It's not just J. Cole, it's not just Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people got to pick sides.
They're not even Future's involved in this now.
Yeah.
Like he's on Kendrick's side.
Yeah, people have to pick
Metro
sides.
Boomin's on Kendrick's
Yeah.
side. Nav unfollowed Drake. Like Travis Scott, he's caught in the middle of it. Travis Scott has songs with all of them.
Travis Scott's always been. I mean, Drake and Kanye was a.
He has a song with all of them.
He was stuck in between that.
But in that diss that just got leaked, Drake said he said his top 3 in rap right now
Yeah,
is Travis
21
Scott,
Savage,
21
and all that.
Savage,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
SZA, which is a crazy top 3 to me. Like I'd put Travis in my top 5, not my top 3.
Yeah, I mean that also makes you think about, is it authentic? Because would Drake really say those names?
Yes,
Right.
I believe so. Just to be just
The
just,
SZA
just
is the
for
one that
media.
gets me a little weary. I would think if he was gonna mention a female, it'd be
Sexy Red.
Sexy
He
Red,
does-
because he's
yeah,
been
he
running
does
with
like
her.
Sexy Red.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I think that he shouldn't have removed the track. I think he should have kept it up.
Same.
Hopefully he puts it back up and leaves that in history to be where it is. That'd be the like I said, that'd be the equivalent of Tupac's hit him up not being available no more, or somebody take like that'd be terrible. Like why would you rob? Why would you rob? And he already put it out. Even if all the things that you're saying is true, you already put it out for the world to hear. You can't take it away. People know it happened.
Yeah, on YouTube right now, I guarantee you
It's
someone
somewhere.
else
100%.
downloaded it and put it back up.
Yeah, you can't.
It'll
remove
probably
it.
come back.
You can't
You know how-
remove it. But yeah, man, no, I just like to, like I said, it's a sport, and I think at the end of the day, you just got to be cool with letting it be. Like you don't see boxers like, no, I'm not fighting, bro. Or or they don't fight, they don't step in the ring. Like if you don't want to fight them, don't step in the ring with them. But once you get in that ring, you can't complain about the outcome that's happening or try to take it back.
So let me ask you this: if this Drake leak is real, because mind you, in that Drake leak, he said something about both of them.
Yeah.
He said that shit, he told J. Cole that shit that he put out about Kendrick was whack, and then obviously he did his dirt on Kendrick. What now? Who says what now?
Whoever wants
Because
to.
now I feel like at this point, do you feel as if J. Cole could come back if he said something now? Like
Yeah,
if he was
absolutely.
like, all right, niggas want to play with my top now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Diddy.
No Diddy, yeah, definitely.
No Diddy.
Wild.
It's crazy that like 2 months, 3 months ago we could have said that and everybody would be like,
Yeah. No,
But,
definitely was something there.
like he was like, all right, y'all niggas want to play with my name. Let's really get into it. Do you think people would accept that?
Yeah. I think
I
people
don't know.
accept
There's a
anything.
lot of people that said like
People
you can't
want
even
good
consider him in the
music.
top 3 anymore.
No, people say anything though. Look at Tekashi 6ix9ine still has a career in hip hop, bro.
Valid.
And it's just talking shit.
He still has a career in hip hop. People accept.
Oh yeah, well
anything
now he's
nowadays.
doing Spanish music.
He could do whatever he wants,
Mm-hmm.
and people just don't care anymore. I mean, hip hop is pop music now. It's a part of pop culture. It's a part of when I say pop, I mean popular.
Ain't that
Right? Because that's what pop
crazy?
means. It's popular culture. So the things that once weren't acceptable are acceptable now. There still are layers to it. There is underground hip hop, so there's some things that still won't ever be acceptable. But the genre is not what it once was, and the people who are stuck in their ways and old timers, you got to get over that. It's not that anymore. It's something different. There still is that stuff that you grew up on and you like, and there is underground hip hop. And if you want that, search for it, support it. You know, share those artists' music. Go to their concerts because it's out there.
Yeah, they'd
But as far as the
appreciate it.
mainstream goes, that's what it is. It's mainstream, bro. It's pop. It's pop music. It's popular music. So these things they're pop artists. There was a time, and nothing against this artist in particular, but there was a time that, like, Little Yachty wouldn't have had a place in hip hop. There'd be no place for him in hip
You
hop.
want to hear a crazy take on you want to hear a crazy
Even
take I have
more
on
would
Lil
be
Yachty?
Uzi.
If it wasn't for him linking up with the Detroit rappers, his career would have died.
No, he was with QC. I mean, he had a fan base carved out.
Did you see everything? Like, think about everything he was putting out before he started linking up with all them cats, though. Like, and his
I don't think
music
that's-
kind of changed in the aspect of how he sounds.
Well,
It's
he
like
got
obviously,
inspired
obviously
again.
he's been changing his sound over
Because he's
time,
been
but I
doing
feel
music
like,
longer.
but I feel like
anybody that does your sound's gonna progress.
But I feel like at this time, once he's got around that, like got around the rappers from Detroit and kind of like
There
heard
might-
how they rap, and he started
Yeah,
kind of
he
like
got inspired.
yeah,
there
exactly.
might
That's what
be
I'm saying.
some
He
truth-
kind of got influenced to be like, all right, I'm gonna try and go in this direction with it, because he overall, I'm not saying he stole their sound by any means
Yeah.
necessary.
That just means
Obviously,
he's
he be-
multifaceted,
yeah,
and
if
that
he
makes
gets-
it even better.
Yeah, if he gets on a track with him, he's gonna use the flow because
Yeah.
it's the beat. You know what I mean? But like,
No, but
if you hear his music now compared to how he started and then how it kind of
because
progressed
we
over
heard
time,
we heard Little Yachty when he first started rapping.
that's very fair.
Everybody doesn't. No one sounds the same as they did when they first started rapping.
That's very fair.
You're going to progress. If you listen to old Hot Boy Little Wayne, it doesn't sound like Little Wayne today. If you listen to Hot Boy Little Wayne, it doesn't sound like the Little Wayne of today. And it's not because of one particular thing. Like, Little Wayne did start hanging out with Kim, and he was like a unofficial member of Dipset, and and you hear the influence in his music in that time period. But it's not specifically because he was hanging out with those guys. It's because he got better at rapping from constantly doing it. And it's his job. If Little Yachty's only job is to make music, so of course he's going to progress at it. And that's like I said, that's any artist. If the more you do it, your first song doesn't sound like your last song.
That's valid. It doesn't.
It sounds
What's
like you sound like two different artists.
Yeah, I can hear them both in my head right now. Yeah, they don't sound.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a part of it. And some of these artists now, Little Yachty, in particular, like he got better at rapping during the course. Like he's a better rapper now. I heard a Little Yachty on the Lyrical Lemonade. I was like, this is actually like he sounds like he knows, like he's polished now. Like a lot of
He did.
You can
He
hear
definitely
guys.
found
You
his
can hear
lane,
guys
though.
become polished as they're going on. There was another artist I was listening to. I was like, man, he's really polished now. What's the name? Blueface. Blueface doesn't sound like busted down Dr. Like his new stuff sounds way more polished now because he's been rapping. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the progression of a lot of these artists have the disadvantage of their first song that they ever made blew up. I mean, disadvantage or advantage, however you want to look at it. So you heard Yachty when he first started making rap music. Now he's done made
I
6,
seen-
7, 8 albums in between that.
I followed the niggas that used his song in a video, and that video blew up, and that's how the song got famous. I was one of like the people that like went and listened to that song because of that video.
Right.
So like
You heard it on the ground floor.
Yeah, exactly. I heard it when it was like I downloaded that bitch on Spinrilla. That's how long ago that shit was.
Right.
So like
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's necessarily, not to dismiss what you're saying. That might be a part of it, the Detroit influence. One of the first songs that I heard him on, and
that's
I
what
really
I'm just
liked
saying. It kind of
was like
it
a
kind of
T Grizzly
pivoted
track.
him to go like, you know what I mean, like that way in that
it
role. Like, all
probably-
right, I like rapping.
Yeah, it was a part of all. It was like all of it. Like I said, it's probably just his progression. He's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. It's kind of like what I'm doing. If I do more of what they're doing, maybe it can cater to what I'm doing already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see that being the case.
It's just adding a different style of flow to the repertoire.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've seen at this point in time, like since we've obviously, he's not like a dead rapper, you know what I mean? Like so in a figurative way, but what he's doing now compared to things that he's been doing prior, in the different lanes he's tried to go. He's tried to go like that psychedelic like chill route. He's tried to go like the alternative route, like things like that. Like obviously there's his like old sound, his rap, like his young rap and shit. But like at this point in time, like now that he's had this like concrete family or whatever he calls it now, and like this style of rapping that he's going towards, where it's kind of like the broken up sporadic verses with like different flows all in between. I feel like it was heavily influenced, if not the sole influence was the rappers from Detroit he was around, like V's, Babyface Ray.
Right. So the same way that you said he went through the experimental phase, it might have been because he was listening to Doors all of a sudden. You know what I mean? It might have been influenced by that.
Valid.
10 years from now, we don't know what he might sound like.
Valid.
Like I said, I just think it's a natural progression of life to implement things that you're around into what you're doing. And it's not, I don't think it's probably, if it is directly related to that, I don't think it's like biting it per se.
No, I'm not saying he's biting it at all. I'm just saying
No,
they were
I'm
like,
not saying that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I think it's just a course. I think it's just him growing. You know what I mean? Like people wanted, like you said, he was trying this, trying that. Like I think he was probably just trying to find his voice, trying to find a sound. And he still might be doing that. Like I said,
or he was maybe even just trying to like find something new. You know what I mean?
Or
Just like
he might just got bored with what he was doing.
yeah. I feel you.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. Like we just gotta take ourselves, like it's good to take yourself out of your shoes and try to put yourself somewhere else sometimes. Like that's what I do. Like even if I don't agree with what I'm saying, like I'll say like I'm playing devil's advocate because I probably agree with you, but I try to think about it from the other angle too. Like
You're just like, yo, what's it like over on this end? We got to look at those options too.
or put myself in those shoes. Like if I'm talking to a 14-year-old, I gotta remember like, damn, what was it like to be 14 again? Like I can't just talk to you like you're not an adult, so I have to get to on your level. And I think it's important to be where people are.
I'll catch myself explaining shit to my nieces and my nephews like they're grown, and they're just looking at me like they'll ask about my computer, and I'll start talking about it, and then I'll just start rambling about shit, and now they're looking at me like I'm just like talking about all
Like,
these
bro, I have no
numbers
idea
and-
what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're just like, you got Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, I'm like,
He
yeah,
said, I'm
like,
7, and I want yogurt.
Like I
It's
just want
like-
to press the buttons, bro.
It's like, can I eat these Cheetos on your bed.
Or no.
Like,
Yeah. No, hell yeah, man. Definitely been a good time. I know we're what time did we start?
We're an hour and 40 minutes in.
Yeah, we had a good time tonight. Marley State of Mind podcast, world's dopest podcast. We're down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios, as per usual. We did the Waka Flocka show wrap up, which we had a good time. Shout out to Cal. Shout out Sean Ski, my brother.
It was a
He's
great
going on
time.
tour. Make sure y'all check him out. Get some of that merch from him, that Sean Ski merch. He's about to go back on tour with Webb in Canada. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Thought you said what?
No, yeah. No, with Webb. Say that 3 times fast. With Webb.
with web.
Can't Caleb just be doing shit to fucking
See if you
prove
can do
people
it.
wrong?
He ain't say it 5
I was
times.
like, I'm going wrong.
No, I can't do it 5 hours. Like,
5 is crazy. But until next time, check us out. Peace.
Later.